Hello everyone, we're with Jerax from MVP Hot 6 again. One of the breakout stars of this year, although the team hasn't done so well, I'd say, but you definitely grabbed a lot of eyeballs for sure. Middle of the year, you went with 4ASC, is what I recall properly, with Trixi at the Fnatic Finnish team. Okay.
Not literally Fnatic. People kind of like misunderstood what is actually the Fnatic, but there's members of the Fnatic for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Is there like a hidden secret about the Fnatic that you want people to understand?
Fnatic is mainly meant by the public players that queue up in the ranked with like 5 players, and the 4SC, the players there aren't exactly Fnatic, even though I think people just misunderstand. There's like Shifla, Spin, these players, Rexy, like these guys are known for like Fnatic, Fraggy, like Trixi, you know. But 4SC is a little bit different, but yeah.
Okay. So how's it been so far? How's the tournament been for you? First time at the international. I assume for someone how old are you, by the way?
So I'm 23. First time in US. It's actually so amazing. People are really humble. They come to you, they talk to you. I'm like, again, I'm just in an interview and I'm like, what is this?
You look kind of like 18 or 19 years old, actually.
Yeah. I don't really get offended by that. It's a compliment to me, I guess. I do agree.
So, how has the road for you been so far in the international, and how have you sort of been dealing with it? I understand for the first time the pressure of playing for $17 million. It just might be too much for a first timer to handle. How have you been coping up with it?
I don't really think about the prize money. I approach every game by just thinking how I'm gonna win this game. Like it's a best of 2, so every single game matters. And of course, we kind of did bad. I could say we kind of crumbled at the start, and people lost confidence what we had on our minds and how we approached the tournament, and things got tricky, and that's ended up in us being in a losing streak, and it was unfortunate things for like 2 days, and then the last day was like much better. I think we kind of like got over the stupid stuff we were fighting against, and it was I wouldn't say we like right now how we play is not exactly us at all. I feel like we're underperforming really heavily, like everyone, and there's like it's a mental thing rather than play thing. I think we can easily challenge the top teams. Like
many of the games that I witnessed this time, you guys actually fought up quite well right up until the middle of the game or something. Many of the games, and so it happened a few times when I would see, oh my god, MVP Hot 6 is actually taking this, and I just go out to grab something to eat or what, just to get a drink of water or maybe something, and I'd come back and you've lost. Are there any choke points that have been established in your gameplay or the style of games that you play that sort of get you bottlenecked towards the end and put you in a tough spot?
So basically, our strength of the team is definitely the early mid game, like the early mid. But then when it transitions into like mid and late game, I think we are not as active, and we kind of forget what we actually are supposed to do. And as we might be a little bit too happy about how the early game went, and we lay down, and then we are like, oh, we actually got so outfarmed here, and we watch the replay, and we see these things that normally doesn't happen in our games, like in C and playing Chinese teams and C teams. This is clearly well, whatever. It's our advantage to be on top of the game and make the enemy to react to us, and I think that's been our strength, and we haven't used that, and we kind of forget it every time in the mid game, and it just happens, and it's been our issue this tournament, like every game almost.
So I was talking to Heen as well, and his main point of focus was that you do not need to fear the consequences. You need to focus on your game and play to your strengths and be in this for the long haul. What do you think? What are your opinions on that? Is it true that the team as a whole gets a little distracted maybe by possibly the big names that you go up against, or maybe the amount of the stakes basically that come with the international?
It's really hard to tell how the other players see the things. Of course, we have talked it through, and everybody's like, yeah, we want to win this game, and everybody's like, we don't really think what we play against. We just play our game, and like, that's how we done. But it hasn't been that, and I personally feel that I'm not pressured at all. Like playing against the top teams, like I don't look at the names and I'm like, holy shit, this guy is maybe, and I can't gank him mid because he's so good. But like the issue is like it's a mental thing, and it's like you can say that you are not pressured, but you're still pressured, like somewhat, and it's really hard to explain. Also, like how the losing streak started, I think we started to be more focused about our bans in the pick phase, and usually when that happens, you're too focused on the enemy style of playing instead of your own things, and I think that might have like forced us to like think that we're actually afraid more of the enemy than the enemies of us, and then it's like you kind of lose the game already there.
Probably just one question I want to ask before I get into other things. IG is your next opponent. It's one of the biggest teams in terms of star power, I would say, pure star power. Although they were beaten by MVP Phoenix. I asked this to Heen as well. I'll ask this to you as well. Has there been any sort of transfer of knowledge from MVP Phoenix to Hot 6 in terms of maybe tips or pointers on how you can tackle IG?
Comparing us and Phoenix, I think we are quite similar teams because we have played multiple times together, like hundreds of times, and I feel like them winning them is obviously a good thing for us because I feel like we can approach the game different. We can like watch their games, how they did, because we know exactly how Phoenix plays. So we can watch their replays, we can like think how they approach the game, and we can do the same. And I think IG is gonna be on the, I don't know, like I feel like we have the advantage. Like.
So looking back, like two things that you could have probably done better so far, looking at in hindsight in the tournament, and two things that you really want to look forward to correcting for the future. What would they be? Just two things.
I mean, obviously throwing games. For example, VG game we throw with the Husker. Newbie game yesterday we threw with the auto draft. Like there's like things like this kind of bother your mind. They kind of linger, and it's bad to think about them. But you still have this like, what if we could have done this wrong, right? Like from the first day, if you did these things right, it would have like snowballed into like cute things. But we ended up losing games a lot, and then the mentality just kept like digging deeper and like dig its own hole, and it's like it's really hard to get up again. Like I think so. Just losing the games in the first series is like really bad. I think we should have won. I think.
Now, one question about the formation of the team. How, like, what's the connect Korea and Europe? Like, how did you get in touch with MVP, and how did the whole thing get set up?
So I met Heen at the DreamHack when I was in 4SC back then in Sweden. We talked some. That's pretty much the only thing I know about him. Also, we met at Azerbaijan, which was IESF tournament. It's the world nations, so all the like Chinese teams brought out newbies team. Sweden had its own team, Finland had its own team. It was pretty much 4SC. I mean, it wasn't pretty much 4SC. It was me, Trixi, and 3 other people. And then then there was MVP from Korea, and you know, all the nations brought their own teams. And then later, when I when I left Tinker, I came up with this. I was pretty like I wasn't sure what is gonna happen, and I talked to Black, and he was like, "There's MVP spot in MVP," and it's like I could talk to these guys, and you know, it worked out.
Okay. We spoke about Trixi. A lot of people have shown disappointment that Trixi is not here. Of course, like I've known him to some extent, and he comes across as a really jovial person, a really happy-go-lucky guy. Many people seem to be missing him here. Do you have any messages for him, and what would you like to say about him and his team and his efforts to actually try and get to the international, but did not happen?
Oh, I really like. It was so close, and I was actually feeling so bad watching their games and how they threw pretty much the same as we are doing right now here. So I guess we keep it going. But I really wish the guys made it here, and especially Kalle, his Trixi. I really think he deserved to be here right now. Same as the other guys. I really think they have they play a lot, really good. I think compared to like they have like really through the time I left, I think they have progressed their team play really well, and I think they have done serious improvements from the past. Like I really think so.
I've got on. So over the past days, we weren't really allowed much of press access to the players and all that. But I did manage to get hold of your managers, your coach, Mr. Yeah. Black, the overly enthusiastic Black, and also James Harding. All of them have said one thing. I don't mean to put you under pressure or anything. It's just you don't have to keep it in your mind. It's just something they mentioned casually. But they really have really high hopes for you, and Black and James went on to say that you're probably one of the most promising support players in the world at the moment. I think that's a huge compliment. What do you think about that? I mean, I know it's weird asking you about how good you are, but you're obviously getting a lot of attention. So how do you react to that?
I mean, I feel like of course I respect people's opinions about how they think about me, and like I of course listening to them, but I don't really know what can I really say.
Is it true that out of 10 times, if Magnus comes in and tries to land his RP, and if you're playing Rubik, he will not be able to use his RP 10 out of 10 times? Is that a statement you made to Black?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So would you say Rubik is one of your most favorite heroes?
Yeah, definitely up there. I mean, the previous question was like it's a very complicated one. Anyways, like it depends on a lot of things, but I would say that 10 out of 10 times, if there is if the consequences are correct, yes. If I'm fully focused, I really think so.
Okay. So in the middle of the year, you actually sort of jumped into complete limelight with your Earth Spirit plays. To the extent that you became infamous, people started abusing the Earth Spirit, like you. I mean, the way you played it, sort of to get that massive MMR boost and all that. Of course, it was just skill on your part, and you understood the hero so well that you just went on playing with it. You became like probably like the best, the most highest MMR person on the European leaderboards.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
What's your story with Earth Spirit? Like, is there any future? I mean, in its current form, with the nerfs that he got, do you still spam it as much as you used to?
I really enjoy people asking me like, why do you spam the hero to get MMR? Back then, when Earth Spirit came, I think MMR hasn't been announced yet. So I was really surprised me having a really high MMR when it came out first. I was like, oh, what possibly happened? Then I noticed that I was actually winning a lot of games with Earth Spirit, and I was like, okay, it's a good hero, I guess. Then people said that I was really good at it. I was like, I really don't think so. And I was like pointing fingers to other people, and I still got all I don't know why people kept telling that I'm still good, but I feel like other people did as well as I did. And let me think. But Earth Spirit right now? What do you want to ask about it?
Yeah, so in its current shape and form, and the balance changes that have happened to him, how has the scope of the hero changed?
I think most people are really happy how the nerfs are like targeting his early presence, and it was a clear issue back then that I didn't notice myself, because when you play a hero a lot, you start to kind of get into the hero too much, and you don't think about if it's that imbalanced or like. I feel like I was a really bad person to say anything about the balance things, because I just kept playing the hero, and I really didn't have a reason for it except that I really like to play. Like the current form is like, I think it's going towards the better, and I really hope that Valve could actually make the hero possibly like into captain's mode after TI, I just really hope that happened, like one day, just balance is enough. Like, yeah.
So, what hero would you recommend for someone right now to sort of boost their MMR in pubs? Is there any go-to hero that you would have in mind that you could sort of help to get that MMR up?
Well, there's always...
If you want to.
What?
Everyone wants to. I want the MMR.
Yeah?
So you have to tell me, how do I get it up?
I'm a really bad person because I really don't care about
No,
MMR.
you're the perfect person. You're the perfect.
But I'm still like, I never understood the MMR thing. Like, I hate to say, but I don't care about MMR. I really don't. Of course, there are people with really high MMR, and I'm like, okay, that's an achievement, I guess. But as for MMR spamming, I think mid lane is pretty good for that, like the storms and the snowbally things. What else is there? SFs, like you can just pretty much play your own game, and if the enemy team allows that, usually you have a higher chance of winning the game just by yourself. So I guess core role, but yeah.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Well, Leshrac is pretty good.
Okay.
People play a lot of Leshrac at the Korean team house, and I'm sitting behind them. I'm like, you still keep playing the Leshrac the 50th time in a row, and why do you do this? Your win rate is 80%. Is it really worth it? I'm like,
oh, thank you. That's a lot of tips, I mean, I'm definitely going to use that as soon as I get a chance. How has Korea been for you? Europe to Korea transition. I mean, are you based out of Seoul?
yeah, so basically the place we live in is between the airport and Seoul. So there's a place called Incheon. Also the airport is called Incheon Airport, but it's something between there. It's been pretty interesting because we live with like 13 people, same house, because Phoenix and Hot6 lives in the same house. And then there's the StarCraft below floor, and then there's Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, I like the food a lot, kimchi and stuff.
And what do you miss about Europe then and Finland?
Nature, like people not being pressured, and like calmness and chill things, like gray weather, to be honest. Like I really want the windy weather that Finland has. It's really humid in Seoul. It's really humid, right? Yeah, in Korea, yes. Yeah. It's Sometimes it's terrible. Like you can't go out. All the Koreans are this. They say the same. The weather is too hot, and they really wanted to. They don't like summer at all, you know. But they haven't seen Finnish winter, so they can't really say much about it. They don't want that either, I think.
Yeah, that's good. So I mean, before we finish here, what do you have any final words to say to maybe your fans and people who have supported you throughout? MVP having 2 teams here has been a great improvement over last year, and in the main event, not just like in the first day wildcard you get out, but you've actually gone and booked a place in the main event. I think that's commendable. For Korea, it could be a huge thing. What do you have to say about the growth over the last year, from MVP's perspective, and what do you think, how it will affect Korea? Of course, I know you're an outsider, you probably won't know much about Korea, but still, from whatever experience you have.
So what I heard about the players, they're like the Korean forums. There's like Korean Reddit and stuff they call it, and there's people cheering for the teams really heavily, and I think they enjoyed a lot that both of the teams got the TI, the actual event, and I don't know, just I haven't really talked about it because Koreans don't talk anywhere else than that. Their English is fairly low, their standards are fairly low, and it's kind of sad. I kind of wanted to see the Korean people's reaction, but I have to ask the players to get the information.
Any final shout-outs you want to say to the Korean fans you have? It would be amazing to see Korea actually get into this and go big in Dota 2. Probably not going to happen soon, but I really hope it happens. What do you want to say to the fans and the people who follow your team and are rooting for you guys?
I really hope that people haven't lost their confidence of still being the fans, and it's been a rough start for the tournament, and I think we're gonna come back hard, and really think we can do well in the tournament. Just don't lose hope.
Okay, thank you so much, Jerax. So this was Jerax with us in conversation. MVP Hot 6 looking to face off against IG on day 1 of the Key Arena playoffs. We wish Jerax the best of luck. Thank you so much for talking with us, Jerax.